The divorce papers trembled in my hand as I watched my husband's face, not from grief or regret, but from the effort it took not to smile. "So you'll really just leave?" James asked, eyebrows raised in mock concern, while his fingers intertwined with those of Rachel, his mistress. She sat beside him on my designer sofa, the one I'd saved for 6 months to buy. "I'm taking all my personal belongings with me," I said evenly, placing the papers on the coffee table between us, "just so we're clear." Rachel's eyes scanned our living room, lingering on the custom lighting fixtures, the artfully arranged furniture, the hand-selected decor pieces that had transformed this dated house into something from a magazine spread. "This place is perfect," she sighed, running her hand along the velvet armrest. "It's exactly what I've always wanted. Your old clothes and whatever, take them. Honestly, they just remind me of our miserable time together." I nodded slowly, not bothering to correct his assumption. "I'll have movers here tomorrow. Just remember, you agreed to no division of property." "My name is Lauren. I'm 29 and an interior designer. This is the story of how I emptied more than just a house. 3 years ago, I married James believing we were partners in every sense. He was 34, worked in construction management, and inherited his grandparents' house shortly before we met. The place was structurally sound, but hadn't been updated since the 1980s. All beige walls and scuffed laminate. James had furnished it with cast-offs from friends and discount store basics. When we married, I saw potential. With my design expertise and savings, I transformed that dated property into something special. Every piece was carefully selected. Mid-century modern furniture that complemented the home's bones, statement lighting that drew the eye upward, custom window treatments that framed the view perfectly. I documented every purchase, partly from professional habit, and partly because I'd learned early in our marriage that James was careless with money. That carelessness extended to our relationship. The little things accumulated: dishes left in the sink despite our agreement to share chores, complaints about meals I'd prepared after working 10-hour days, dismissive comments about my obsession with how things looked. But I kept trying, believing marriage required compromise. What I couldn't compromise on was discovering his text to Rachel 6 months ago. She was 25, a temp in his office with an Instagram feed full of aspirational home decor she couldn't afford. Their messages made it clear what had drawn her to my husband: access to the beautiful home she assumed he had created. "James has such amazing taste," she'd written to a friend. "His wife just works all the time and doesn't appreciate what he's built." I saved screenshots of everything: the messages, the dinner dates, the hotel receipts. Not for confrontation, but for confirmation. I needed to be certain before making my next move. When I finally contacted Rachel directly suggesting we all meet to discuss the situation, she seemed more excited than ashamed. She arrived at our house wearing a dress that cost more than she made in a week, clearly purchased for the occasion. "I just want you to know," she said immediately, leaning forward with practiced sympathy. "I never meant to hurt you, but when two people connect the way James and I have—" "Let's just get this over with," I interrupted, sliding the divorce papers across the table. "James and I agreed before marriage, no division of property in case of divorce." Rachel's eyes lit up. She squeezed James's hand. "See? I told you she'd be reasonable." James nodded, relief evident in his shoulders. Lauren, has always been practical. It's one of her better qualities." The slip didn't surprise me. He'd been calling me by the wrong name for months now. "Let me show you around," Rachel said, suddenly standing up. "I have so many ideas for this place." I watched silently as she walked through my carefully curated rooms, trailing her fingers over surfaces, mentally replacing my presence. "These light fixtures are amazing, and this dining table, is it custom?" "It is," I said. "Everything here was specifically chosen to complement the space." "Perfect," she breathed. "I wouldn't change a thing." "You won't have to," James assured her. "Lauren's just taking her clothes and personal stuff, right?" I nodded again, seeing no reason to elaborate. "The movers will be here at 9 o'clock a.m. tomorrow." That night, I stayed in the guest room, listening to them whisper and laugh in what had been my bedroom. I didn't sleep. Instead, I reviewed my inventory lists one final time, making sure nothing had been overlooked. The movers arrived precisely at 9 a.m. the next morning. 2 large trucks and 6 workers. I'd hired the best company in the city, one I often collaborated with for my design clients. "Morning, Ms. Turner," the foreman said. "We've got the inventory list you sent. Comprehensive job today, huh?" James and Rachel emerged from the bedroom, still in robes, looking annoyed at the commotion. "Why are there 2 trucks?" Rachel asked, frowning as workers began carefully removing the living room artwork. "How many clothes do you have?" I didn't answer, just handed the foreman my tablet with the complete inventory. The men worked efficiently, wrapping each piece of furniture in protective blankets, detaching light fixtures with care, even removing the custom window treatments. It took 20 minutes for James to realize what was happening. "What the hell?" he shouted, rushing toward the workers who were dismantling the sectional sofa. "Stop! That's my couch." I handed him a folder. "Here are the receipts. Every piece of furniture, every appliance, every light fixture and piece of decor was purchased by me with my money after we married." His face drained of color as he flipped through the pages. "You can't. We've been using these things for years." "Usage doesn't transfer ownership," I said. "And we agreed, no division of property." "You're taking everything?" Rachel's voice rose to a near scream. "Not the house," I clarified. "That belongs to James. Just everything in it." By noon, the living room was empty except for the built-in shelves. By 2 p.m., the kitchen contained nothing but the cabinets and countertops. By 4 p.m., even the curtain rods had been removed. James alternated between pleading and threatening. "You'll regret this," he hissed, while the workers carefully packaged the surround sound system. "I'll sue you." "On what grounds?" I asked quietly. "We agreed in writing, no division of property. You keep what's yours, I keep what's mine." As the workers began loading the last truck, a small panel van pulled up. 2 men in coveralls approached the house. "Mrs. Turner, we're here for the wallpaper removal." Rachel, who had been sitting silently on the floor since the dining chairs had been taken, looked up in horror. "The wallpaper?" "Custom printed," I explained. "Designed specifically for this house. Cost nearly $8,000, my company." "You can't take the walls," James shouted. "Not the walls," I corrected. "Just what's on them. Like you said, I'm taking all my personal belongings." I left them standing in an empty house with bare walls and exposed outlets where my designer sconces had hung. The house looked older than before I'd transformed it. All the flaws now visible without my carefully placed distractions. 2 weeks later, James called. His voice the confidence that had once attracted me. "Lauren, please," he began. "Rachel left. She said she couldn't live like this. We need your help." "We?" I asked. "I meant I need your help. I was wrong about everything." "Wrong about what specifically?" I asked, though I knew exactly what he meant. He sighed. "About us, about Rachel, about the house. I didn't realize how much work you'd put into making it beautiful." Rachel kept complaining. Nothing was good enough. "The second-hand furniture I bought looks terrible." She said she didn't sign up to live in a dorm room. "That sounds difficult," I said, feeling nothing. Would you consider coming back? Or at least helping me make this place livable again?" I thought about the furniture now arranged in my new apartment. I'd already sold most of it. Too many memories. The proceeds had funded a complete renovation of my new space with pieces that better reflected who I was now. "I'm afraid that's not possible," I said, "but I wish you luck with your decorating." I hung up before he could respond, then blocked his number. The divorce had been finalized a week earlier, ending our marriage officially. Some spaces, once emptied, should stay that way. Before you go, here's a quick bonus for sticking around. If you love learning and growing like I do, you need to try audiobooks. I've got an exclusive deal with Audible. Your first month is completely free. That's access to over 500,000 titles. Zero cost to you. All the details are waiting in the description. Don't miss this one.